Well, that was kind of an abrupt. I probably could have just.
Yeah, you should have let that one go. Noob.
Yeah, whatever. All right. Da-da-da-da. Welcome to Spiral Series Highlight Reel Episode 6. Guest star Rick Dawg.
What up?
What are we calling this one episode?
Oh, Ultra Bar-Dawg.
Yeah, Ultra Bar-Dawg.
That's better than Dick Dog from
Dick Dog?
our last league session.
Oh, what? I don't remember that.
Yeah, what was it? Diego called me that.
Called you Dick Dog?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You don't remember that? Yeah.
I think that's hilarious. We have many nicknames for you.
I don't mind it. Rick Dad, Dick Dog, now Ultra Bar-Dawg. That's
Ultra
cool.
Bar. Okay, so let's thank you guys for tuning into SSE's Spiral Series or Highlight Reel Episode 6. Real quick, here's our agenda for today. We'll talk a little bit about our guest co-host and then go over bar fights. Then we have a player spotlight, and Rick will also talk with us about a little bit about Ultra Street Fighter 4, and then closing remarks after that.
Sounds good.
Very cool. Real quick, could you give me an introduction to yourself?
Sure. My name is Rick Dog, apparently.
Rick Dog.
Actually, it's kind of funny. You know what? No, I'm Rick, by the way. But yeah, Rick Dog is it was a joke. Like in the late '90s when I first started playing Street Fighter, and I was, SRK was brand new, and I had to make an account name, and I didn't know what to name myself.
Uh-huh.
And back then, every MC was putting dog at the end of their name, right?
Oh, okay, I get you.
Right, like every MC, doesn't matter if they were big or small, they were doing it, and it was like a joke. Me and my friends would joke, so we always put dog in our name.
Oh, so it was ironic.
Yeah, exactly. So I just put it in Rick Dog as my name, and it was just a joke. And then I started going to Evo, I started going to California, and all these other tournaments, and then that's my only name I knew, so I put it down, and then I started making friends with people out of state.
And they started just knowing you as Rick Dog.
Yeah, so I was like, oh crap, if I change my name now, they're not going to know who I am. So I decided to stick with it. So.
Oh, man.
So yeah, I've been playing since since I was 14, 15, 94, 95. Oh, wow. Actually, no, it was earlier than that, 93, yeah, because I remember going to the bowling alley in California. But I didn't really start playing seriously until I moved out to Arizona in 98. So
98? What was the first serious game that you played?
First serious game was probably CVS 1. That's the one.
Nakaruru, right?
Yeah, Nakaruru, and then I would either play with her like Blanca, Dalzim, or Vice, King. Like, it was a lot of ratio ones I would go with her.
Vice and King?
Oh, yeah, they were really good. All the ratio ones were really good in CVS 1.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you had set ratios back then.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
At the very end, it was Nakaruru and then EX Rog, because that's, like, stupid. But anyways.
EX Rog?
Yeah, because there was EX versions of characters, and they changed their moveset a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. CVS 1's a really good game.
was that... That's like me saying Marvel's a really good game because I play Zero, right?
No, but it's not the same. It's
broken characters. That's a good game.
She's not broken. She's just really strong. But Bar-Dawg's really strong too, and
so I remember
really strong.
Like, so EX characters, it's like you have like standing. Wait, I remember Scott's always talking about like standing normals, like proximity normals.
Yeah, some of them have proximity normals. Like, I believe Sim was changed that way, but like Bar-Dawg, for example, his rush punch in EX, you couldn't crouch underneath it. You would have to block it by crouching, or standing up. You'd still be blocking it. Oh. So he would get a lot of pressure, and that's why he was really dumb in that game, because he wasn't very negative on a EX rush or a regular rush either.
Oh, okay.
So he was able to do like down strong, stand fierce, and then rush, and then continue pressure whatever he wants from there, like standing roundhouse, sweep, whatever he wanted.
I mean, Rog can do that now in 4, right?
You can crouch underneath the jab rush.
With the normal, right?
I'm just saying you can just crouch underneath it.
Oh,
can't you?
In
4, I don't remember now.
I don't.
I don't remember now. Nobody plays Rog anymore. Right? Either way. Yeah. But anyways, that was the difference, because in the other version, in his other version, you could duck it.
Okay.
So, but then so I started playing that. Went to one of my first big tournaments at V5 before Evo was Evo.
Right.
And I did okay there. I got top 32 in CVS, which it sounds like a really big accomplishment, but it was only like 200 people.
I was about to ask you how 200 was a.
But it was like back then, if you had a tournament with 100+ people, that was amazing, because it was 100 like highly skilled players that went to the arcade 3-4 times a week. Because back then, you think it's bad now, where people are like, oh, I don't want to go to a tournament because I just think they can lose. Mm-hmm. Like, that mentality was huge back in the day. Like, unless you knew you could win, you never showed up.
That's because you were putting money down every time.
Yeah. So it was. I guess I would compare a 200-man tournament back then to like a 600-man tournament now.
Oh, wow.
Like I think that
big of a deal, right?
Maybe not next year, because everyone's kind of getting older and 4. Like, it's no longer the 09ers are just all scrubs, because now they played the game long enough. Uh-huh. But Yeah, for right now, I think it's about a threefold difference, like just difficulty.
So actually, yeah, that brings up a good point. Like, so, 09ers have been playing the game for, what is it, three,
They're coming on,
4 years now.
Yeah, they're gonna be working
almost
on 5. Yeah,
5 for the Japanese. So like, how long, like, what's the oldest game that like, what's an example of an old game that was played for 5 years that long? And that competitive?
well, Third Strike.
Third Strike.
That was the last game that was played for a long time, and and there's people who still play it, and like Marvel 2, people still play it, ST people still play it, but yeah, I think Third Strike was the game that held a bigger crowd for a longer time, but 4 is just knocking out of the water. I mean, these numbers are ridiculous. They're still holding. It's still the largest tournament.
Well, I mean, a lot of it has to do with just society evolving in general to be more accepting of gaming culture, not just fighting games. But
no, and that's definitely happening, and I'm very happy to see that. I mean, even Blair Walsh, the kicker from the Vikings, like he's promoting League of Legends.
Oh,
like,
really?
Did you not see? Like, yeah, during the championships, he was promoting League of Legends, and talking about how esports is a real sport, and this is pretty cool to hear that from a football player, right? And he's funny because he plays Vayne. So I was like, of course you would play Vayne. But that's a league thing. That's a little off topic. But, yeah, so I think you're right. As a whole, the community, or society actually, it's more accepting the gaming, and it's probably because, our average person the average age person has grown up with gaming now.
Yeah.
Right? Some of the older people are dying off.
It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot.
Put it bluntly.
Oh, yeah, we're laughing about people dying right now. No, it's a lot easier to tickle one's nostalgia, I think, with the.
Yeah. So that's helping, and of course, you're getting more sponsorships. There's more money now. The games are getting fancier. It's just everything's more appealing to somebody who doesn't know anything about it, and so now they want to get into it. Whereas when Street Fighter 2 came out, it was appealing to the arcade crowd, right? So yeah, it's different. It's great. I love it.
It's actually interesting to hear you say that, because like I've also heard you in the past, so like information being more open, like with YouTube and the internet and everything like that. And so one of the things you used to tell me, like as a player, is like, I have this tech, I'm gonna hide this tech.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you used to do it all the time. Yeah. Well, we still do it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Right?
Though, is like that extra little bit of rivalry that's still.
Oh, and it still happens with the top players. I mean, the last case I remember seeing it was Filipino champ. He was holding a team to fight Chris G with.
Right.
Right. But he had to let it go early. But I mean, it's an example. People still do that, right? It's just not as common, because like before, you would hold little things. Like I'm trying to think of a good example. Probably like Alex Vai's uncrunchable Alpha 2 tech, where he would always sweep you from doing his custom combos.
Custom combos.
Yeah, like that was held back for a long time. Right, I mean, it was more of an accidental discovery.
I remember seeing like a video about that, where like it was Choi, right? Choi and Valle fighting, and then Valle hit him with that for the first time, and Choi adapted.
Choi's like, he couldn't figure out how to block it, and that's when they figured it out. It was like unblockable. But anyway, yeah, it still happens. But you're right. Yeah, it's not like as much as it used to be.
Or rather, if you let it slip once, it's gonna propagate.
If you play online, right, with somebody that happens to record matches, which is like everybody now, it's gonna be known. So it's harder to do that stuff.
So that's another big thing. Is like, what do you think about, like, so the new consoles are all gonna have streaming capabilities. Like, what do you think about?
The Xbox One has it built in too?
Oh, I don't know.
I know PS4 has like straight to
PS4 is like straight to Twitch. I thought Xbox had a deal.
They probably do.
Maybe
I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't.
Maybe it's like with Ustream or something.
No, I think it's great. I think it's fine. I don't think you're going to get oversaturated, because it's just like with StarCraft 2, there's hundreds, thousands of streamers, right? Most of them only had like 10 viewers. It was the known, personalities that would get the high viewer count. It's the same thing with that.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of people that only, 10, 12 people that are close friends watching it, but then there's going to be some, right? Then there's going to be the ones that, drive it up. So I think it's fine. I think it's great. It's just more exposure, and that's really what we need. I really believe this is the next genre to blow up. Like, first-person shooter has blown up, right? Sports games blew up. The MOBAs are blowing up like crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is the next one. As long as, we all can stay cool-headed about it. Like, I'm talking like the old school guys. They can just accept the change, and I'm all for it. I think it's great.
So, what do you think sets us apart from other fighting other video game scenes that will cause us to blow up like that?
Well, it's kind of funny, because I've grown up with the first-person shooter games. I grew up with real-time strategy, and now I'm growing up with with a fighting game community, and it's not different. It really isn't. It was always the same. It was a small community. They all help each other out. There was big rivalries. There was still a lot of issues and drama, but it just, I don't know what happened. Like, the majority grew up, I guess, and the people that didn't want to grow up with it, they just went away. And this is happening. This is the same thing. It's so funny to see it because it really is a cyclical thing. I'm seeing the same thing happen in first-person shooting. The same thing happen in real-time strategy. It's just it happened really fast in those scenes, right? Where in a fighting game, it's taking a little longer. It was because fighting games was more of a niche, but now it's becoming more, popular.
Yeah, it's becoming more open to other community. Like I think it more accessible. I think is the phrase.
Yeah, that's largely part to do with Street Fighter 4. I mean, it like Scott says, like Saber says, it's a universal fighting language. Everybody knows how to play Street Fighter now.
Right.
Right. I mean, even like just who was it now? Perfect Legend. He's like, I'm playing Street Fighter. Like, I'm done with Mortal Kombat.
He was always pretty good with Street Fighter too.
Yeah, he played it before, but like. He always wanted to play MK, but he even said he's like, I have more fun playing Street Fighter.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, in his last interview, and I thought that was really interesting to read that, and I think a lot of people are feeling that way, not just with Street Fighter 4. I'm just saying, Capcom fighters. It's just they're not coming out and saying it, and now he's coming out and saying it, so maybe more people will do it. I don't know. We'll see. But that's whatever. But
fair enough.
Fighting games, yes, I'm happy for it. I do miss a lot of the arcade culture. With the older scene. I don't think it has anything to do with the game being bigger now. I think it just happens to do with the technology differences. Now, like arcade, the things you could play in arcade, you could play at home, right? Back in the day, you couldn't do that, and so you wanted to play that new game, you had to go to the arcade,
right?
And then maybe a year down the road, you get a Super Nintendo port that was like crappy version of it,
and then Rock Kylera or something, right?
Right, and it wasn't the same. So I mean, nowadays it's like everything has to happen now. I want it now, and the company's going to do that because they want to make money. Because if they don't do it, the next company's going to do it. So
right.
And it's fine. Like I miss those days. I miss those things. But I understand why, and I'm just accepting it, and it's great. I think it's fine. It's blowing up, and I can't wait to see it. Where a fighting game can go and take out the LA Coliseum like League of Legends did. That's awesome. Like that's amazing.
That would be cool.
And it'll happen as long as the big heads of the community keep doing what they're doing. Like Alex is great. He keeps Alex Valle in California. He's doing such good things right now. As long as people like him and people try to follow him, it's gonna be fine. So.
Okay, very cool. And any future fighting games in the upcoming horizon that you find yourself really drawn towards?
Oh, KI for sure.
KI.
Yeah, I was never like really good at KI, but I loved the game when I was growing up. It was just such a fun game. And it is. Before everything kind of got figured out, I thought it was a pretty crazy, fast, like wild game, kind of like how Marvel is now. Obviously, it's not the same. But back then, we didn't really have anything like that. That was the first, like, whoa, this game is crazy fast, and it was really fun. But so I'm very excited KI3. I did play the beta a little bit at EVO, and Saber has played it a little bit more after that, and he's told me all these different things, and it sounds amazing, and it plays amazing from when I played it, and it's a different take on how fighting games is. A lot of times, like for Third Strike, for example, you have block, parry, high, low, right? And it's more on the defensive player making that choice, right?
Yeah.
So now on KI, it's more of an offensive player making the choice of like, okay, I'm going to let him bait out a counter, or I'm going to stop my move, or I'm going to do a cancel counter. So it's all about the offensive player making these guesses.
I get you.
And if he guesses right, he gets a huge reward instead of like the defensive player guessing right and he can either block and get out of the situation. So it's a little different. It's kind of like flipped. I think about it that much, and I love it. I can't wait for it. So
yeah, you're basically saying that the offense, it gives more power to the offense.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's actually it's very, very different than what I had perceived it, and I'm a little.
It's gonna be super like mind game intensive.
Okay.
Right. It's the combos or whatever. They're not that hard to do unless you're doing some of the crazy stuff. Like I think
manual linkers.
The manual linkers and stuff. Yeah. I think Filthy Rich has its own special Jago combo. It's like 4 one-frame links. Ooh. You can get high damage without doing these crazy one-frame link combos. Right. So as of right now, there might be some stuff later down the road. I mean, the game hasn't really out yet. So,
sure.
So it's not really about like, okay, I gotta get this crazy. No, it's about okay, I need to they like to see, I'm going to train him to see that I'm doing these jab linkers, and the next time I'm going to either do a cancel counter, or I'm going to do the medium linker, and he's going to get the stop on the counter, so I can continue my combo and then do whatever I want from there.
But with the heavy execution behind the manual linkers, you're still rewarded.
But yeah, you can still get rewarded for these players that want to do these optimized combos, which of course we will. But I'm saying like it's going to be, what I meant to get to was it's easier to get into for everybody. Kind of like how 4 is, and people can just do down fierce for anti-airs.
Yeah.
Or you can do uppercut AVDC ultra, right? So you have right.
But there's different levels.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get you.
So
okay.
I think it's gonna be another game. Hopefully the PR stays. It's okay. I hate the fact that it's only on Microsoft, but I understand because Microsoft's funding the project.
Right.
I hope it goes through. But I have a strong feeling it will because of how much Mr. Wizard loves KI. So I'm banking on that. I'm like, all right, we're good. So the game is fun. I mean, it's just give it a shot. It's a really good. And I love the pay model, League of Legends model, a fighting game.
Oh.
I think it's awesome because, okay, people that complain about it, this is what I don't understand. People who complain about it, you can still pay the full amount, and you get the full game like you would any other game.
Right.
No different. Right, just like if you're going to go to the store, you could do the same thing. It doesn't change you, right? But somebody else that wants to just, hey, I just want to try it out.
Yeah.
They can download it, play Jago, and be like, oh, this is pretty cool. Let me just buy this character. So
I heard it's like it's $20, right? So like if you buy, it's $5 a character. So if you
something like that,
if you top out, like if you hit the $20 mark, you just unlock everything, right?
Right, whatever dollar amount.
Cool.
Yeah, so you don't pay more.
Yeah.
Either you pay what you would normally going to pay anyways, or you pay less.
Honestly, though, that kind of throws the whole microtransaction idea on its head, and that
that it has a cap.
Yeah. And then they just unlock everything. So
I think it's great. Now it has a season too, because no characters are going to get released on a 2-month basis or whatever it is.
Yeah, and honestly, that kind of meshes really well with what fighting games are. Is that they release updates like yearly.
Yeah, so this is going to keep it fresh. Anytime you bring a new character, and especially with the game that only has 8 characters to start with, that you throw another character in there. Whoa, okay, now I got 8 more matchups to figure out.
Yeah.
Or I got this whole new character to figure out. And then another one, and then another one, and then who knows if they do season 2? Who knows what's going to happen? So I mean, I like the way they're starting out, and I like the way the game plays so far, and they're working really hard on it. I mean, they're putting out all kinds of videos, and they're showing all these tech and all that, and I'm excited. I'm excited for it. So yes, KI. A long story short, yes, KI. I'm very looking forward to play that game. I am looking forward to play Ultra too. We'll talk about that more about the changes. I'm very excited about them.
Okay.
And but yeah, I'm excited for those 2 games. So
very cool. All right, so let's move on to going back to the agenda real quick here. We will be talking a little bit about Bar Fights 3, which happened 3 days ago, November 16th, 2013.
Has it really been 3 days already?
Has it been 3? Yeah, it's been 3 days. Okay, so let's see here.
Been drinking too much.
Right, Bar Fights. So first up, we had our Cross Tekken exhibitions.
These are fun to watch. These are really fun to watch.
Yeah. I think so. Abe set them up. Said 3S.
Oh, he set them all up. Okay.
Yeah, he pulled me aside in advance and was like, we need to make sure Cross is thoroughly represented, and I have all of these matches lined up, and they're going to be good matches. And he recognized that we see the same faces a lot of times in Cross, and so he even abstained from playing, and he just set up his guys. We got to see Jammy, who never actually shows up to any of the Rambats, or he's never able to make it out.
And that's crazy because he played really strong. I played him one time in casuals. Holy cow, he's got such good optimized Steve combos. It was ridiculous.
Yep. He plays Cody too, right? Is it Cody Steve?
He played Cammy Steve against me. I think he does play Cody too. But yeah, that was very entertaining, and I'm very good ups to King Hippo. That was for somebody that's just getting into the game, and and Jake Jammy, he's been playing since it's been out.
Right.
And he put up a good fight. I was very impressed.
I remember a lot of people from Phoenix actually had never met Jammy before. So Sam, for example.
Oh really?
Sam
never met him.
He's like, who are you? And and then Jammy's like, well, I'm probably one of the better Cross Tekken players in 2.
He actually said that.
Yeah, he said that. I'm like,
sound like you've been hanging out with Abe too much.
So it was cool to see King Hippo and Jammy clash like that. Jammy took it 3-2 over King Hippo, but you're right. King Hippo definitely. Jumped into
I'm impressed, and he hasn't been playing very long, and he's been showing he could, he can play this game. There's for no doubt on that one.
So yeah, and then the second match we have is Rocknin versus Chexikin. Rocknin, our most improved player in the Rambat.
Yeah, season. I agree with that for sure. And don't let that score fool you. I mean, these matches were close. They were very close. I mean, there was a lot of times where it was just a missed jury down forward into pinwheel that could have won the game. And
the down forward is like the little kick where the jump.
No,
right?
no, just a low kick.
Oh,
And,
crouch forward. Okay, yeah.
And I mean, a lot of matches could have went down differently, right? Chexkin did a great job. Obviously, he won, but don't let that score fool you. It was close.
Fair.
It was close. I mean, watch the replay and be like, oh, okay, I see what you're talking about. I mean, it's just one little mistakes here and there, and then I think both of them though were showing a little bit of nerves. They're both kind of getting tense, and that's kind of what I told Rocknan. I was like, hey man, just loosen up, just act like you're in training mode, just think you're in training mode. Don't let your forearms get the best of you, because that happens to me.
Like
I get tense
the whole
and
time, and then
it
it hurts your execution.
Yeah, well, yeah, you get locked in a corner because you're trying so hard, and then you get stuck in that corner. Stuff like that happens all the time.
Okay, I get you. And then our main event for the night was Swoops and Arcade in the Box Raucus.
Another good match, and Raucus showed a couple different teams, and so did Swoops, and so that was good to see them, trying to counter each other with teams.
Did he play Blanca? I didn't catch.
No, he didn't play Blanca in that match. I know he does play Blanca, and I'm very happy he didn't, because I really don't think that character's that good.
Fair enough, yeah.
But maybe he would have changed the match. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just my personal opinion on that. But no, they were all very good matches. Rock played extremely well. He was able to find ways to stop Bob's anti-air, and that I think was the deciding factor between them, was because he couldn't anti-air with Bob consistently, and then once he stopped, figured out he couldn't do it. He stopped even trying, and it was just jump-ins were happening, and it was just big damage off of him. So
wow, okay, yeah, well, he would jump in with like Yoshi, right? Yoshi's a really good jump in. So yeah, like those three matches were on the main stage, and yeah, like you said, they were like a couple of the guys were fighting their nerves because.
Like you said, these are players that we don't see on the spotlight very often. Rock and Sam, not so much. But I mean, Jammy, Chexkin, Rock, and King Hippo, we don't see them especially in hey, feature match, let's go, you guys. It's like, oh shit, everyone's watching me right now, and you got 50 drunk people behind me screaming and betting on me and all this.
Yeah, definitely.
It changes the game a little bit,
Yeah, for sure. I think over time, our tournament seasons have become so regular with these Ranbats and the Hazbats before then, and it's just over time we've all gradually grown more comfortable being on stream. So there's that next level now where you're like a marquee matchup on featured
people screaming and stuff. Right?
People
Yeah, more of you being on a stage at a bigger event. And I think that's good. That's probably the best practice they could get, unless they get on stage for a bigger event. Is just a bunch of drunk people yelling. Hey, it's fun for me. So.
So we had a couple other matches off stream. I think. Saber and really good battle for second place.
I missed that one. I heard it was really good. I believe Scott won, right?
Well, if you missed it, where you can find it, right? Because it's on. Wait, down there. Yeah, if you go to Abe's channel.
Okay. I didn't know it was recorded.
Yeah,
okay.
he brought his own stream setup to Bar Fights, and he.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
That is actually recorded. But yes, Scott won. I forgot what the final score was, but I believe it was down to the wire.
Okay, I'm definitely going to rewatch that then. Yeah, because I remember Scott had a big old smile on his face, came up to me and goes, yeah, I just beat Rock. I was like, what, really? So that was good. 5-3, okay, very good. Thanks, Dave.
Okay, so then that's cross-second for the night. After that...
But to go back on cross-second a little bit, though, yeah. I am trying to be super optimistic. I really hope this game survives. The game, the more longer it lives, the more stuff's being developed. Everyone thought top tier, Nina Law. And all of a sudden, they're kind of dropping down a little bit. Some characters other characters starting to be shown up now. Like Brian, especially, he's jumping tiers like crazy.
Brian, I haven't seen anything.
His movement he walks slow, but his movement with his normals is so good, and he's got high, low, almost mid screen. It's ridiculous, and that's who King Hippo plays, Brian. So watch his match, and you'll see some stuff that he can do. It's a good character. That's just one of the characters that are climbing the ranks now. And there's a lot of diehard, Cross Tekken fans out there. There's a lot of them in Tucson too, and they're really showing you, hey, this game, it's a good game, and it takes some good skill to win at a high level too.
It is a very good game. It's honestly probably one of my favorite game that's out right now. It's just. Yeah, right now, there's just so many things that were stacked against it.
Right, and that's unfortunate. It's just hopefully, if people can keep playing it, these guys like Sam and Abe from Tucson, they're really pushing it. And if they don't give up, keep pushing it. Who knows? Maybe people will finally come see the light. They'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, this is a good game, and they give it a shot. Who knows? Yep. I hope it does happen. I really do, because I do enjoy playing the game. So we'll see. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so after our Cross Tekken results, we have our Street Fighter 4 results. Street Fighter 4, we had two special visitors come out from California to play our
traders.
Two traders. Yeah. John and Nick, they moved away from Tucson and Arizona to move to Hollywood and pursue careers.
Oh, they actually
out
live
there.
in Hollywood?
I know John lives in Hollywood.
Oh,
that's what he
pretty cool.
said, at least. And I made a joke about him being to Hollywood for us.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like, well, that's where I live, and I'm like, okay. So Velociraptor and Dr. One Foot Wood. That's the best name ever. Driftwood.
Oh, no, you had it right.
Is it? Is it really? It's Driftwood, right?
No, it's Dr. One Foot Wood.
That's not. That's
No,
not
yeah,
right.
it is.
Really-
It's Dr. One Foot Wood.
Oh my God! All right, whatever. So they came out to play us, and we threw some of our best players at them in Street Fighter.
These are really fun to watch, too.
Yep. Actually, you commentated on most of these, right? Yeah. So the first one was Mr. SNK versus Crazy EX.
No, I think Mike played first.
Oh, Mike played first?
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, actually, okay, never mind.
Yeah, Mike played first. Yeah, this one, the score does tell the truth on that one. It was a straight 5-1, and
Oh, we're talking about Velociraptor versus Luminaire.
yeah,
right?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and the big issue is Velociraptor changes his gameplay in the middle of the match.
Mm.
Like he just does that, and it's smart. It's really smart. So when he has no meter, he doesn't rely on counters very much. He relies on normals and just kind of zones you out.
Okay.
Once he starts getting to that close to that super bar, then he's trying to trap you into him countering and super, because that does a lot of damage.
Yeah,
it's like
there's, like, no
55%
scaling.
or something like that. And Mike Luminaire was not catching on to, or wasn't watching his meter, wasn't watching Velociraptor's meter. And every time he had full bar, I'm like, I even think I said it on the commentating. It was like, here comes counter super, and then sure enough, counter super, and
He's
the round was
gonna
over.
fish for it, huh?
Yeah, and then now Mike's got to climb back up, and it just wasn't working out for him.
Mm.
Hopefully Mike will watch that, and maybe he can get a rematch on that. Now recognize his meter and adjust his game plan and kind of bait it out and then kind of punish the counters. The nice thing about that counter super combo is that super never comes out unless the counter hits, because it's not a hit.
Right.
It's not a hit, so you can't make
can't
them block it,
yeah.
and then super comes out. It's brilliant. I love it. So it's always either I just counter nothing or I counter super, and it's on me. I love it. It's it's good tech. I love it.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. So then, what was the next match? Was it Crazy EX and SNK?
Yes. That one, another one. It was kind of interesting. I mean, they're all very entertaining, but the first two matches were blowouts. And I did talk to Ernest about this as well, and we'll talk more about it when we talk about SNK. But SNK, he was thinking outside the box. He wasn't going to play the textbook match of, okay, I'm playing Honda, I have to do this. You're playing Cammy, you have to do this. Okay, it's a 7-3 match, I lose. Right, so he changed the way the game is supposed to be played, which I love, and I think a lot of people get stuck on this whole, like, I gotta play it this way, and that's why I want to lose. Sometimes, like, you just gotta, okay, I gotta change it up. You gotta, and I think how I said it before is you gotta take the game, instead of being a character versus character, and make it a player versus player. And that's exactly what SNK did, while Ernest kept trying to play it as a game, and not playing against, SNK.
Okay.
And it was too little too late, because I think near the end we started seeing Ernest trying to understand what was going on, but it was just too much. I mean, when Honda gets on a roll, it's tough. He does so much damage.
Yeah, and then he builds up a ton of bar, and it's like, how do I approach this?
Yeah, but they were very entertaining matches, and if people that go back and watch the SNK versus Crazy EXE, and I'm sure you'll see it. I mean, it's just stuff you would not expect Honda to do, especially against Cammy. There's walking forward on Cammy and just pressuring her, which is. He's like, whoa, this is a role reversal. Like, it's supposed to be Cammy pressuring, right? So, it was good stuff. It was really good. And I have no idea if SK's been practicing or not. So, I mean, but he played very well that night, and it's against Driftwood, or Dr. One Foot Wood. He played very well as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a close match. I caught the very, very end of that. That was our last one, right?
No, the last one was Velociraptor and Crazy EXE.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, so SNK, he played the other Nick versus Nick. He played him, and that was a really good match. At one point, it was 6-5?
6-5.
Or 6-4 Driftwood.
Okay.
He was either SNK won 2 or 3 in a row. I can't remember. And what was happening, it was going back and forth. I think Driftwood won 1, and then Nick won 1, and then Driftwood won, and then Nick won 2, and then it was 3, and it was just going back and forth.
Right.
And kind of the same thing was happening. Actually, okay, let me tell you right now. The very beginning of the match, SNK gets knocked down.
Okay.
His first thing he does on wake up, right? What do you expect the Honda player to do?
Butt slam?
Butt slam, headbutt.
Yep.
Or backdash, right? That's it.
Okay, yeah,
that's it. That's the only 3 things you would think a Honda player would do. He wakes up Ocho grabs. And it hits, right?
Yeah.
And this is an example of you thinking outside, like, okay, this is what he knows that Honda does. So let me think of something else that Honda does, and I'm going to do that, right? Because so what does Driftwood do? He stands right there next to him, waiting for one of these things to happen and punish it. Because Fei Long's one of the few characters that can actually punish any of the headbutts. So he just wants to block it. So he's probably, what I'm thinking is he's sitting there. He's going to do a late tech just in case he wakes up throws. And if that doesn't happen, he blocks whatever special comes out and then punishes. And all of a sudden, Ocho comes out. And I was like, okay, this is how the matches are going to go. I'm like, all right, I like this. So that's an example of what I'm talking about. SNK took that textbook match of what, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is what Fei Long's supposed to do, and threw it out the window and said, I have to do these things because this is what he expects me to do.
Right.
And it paid off. I mean, it was a very close match, and I think the deciding factor between it was in the very first probably 4 or 5 games, Driftwood's anti-air game was very weak. But to credit him, though, at the end of the set, it was starting to get stronger. He was starting to finally trust the anti-air. I don't know if it's a trust issue or if it's just a reaction issue. I don't think it's a reaction issue because there was one point in the match where a fierce headbutt came out from mid-screen. That's really hard to react to, and he uppercutted it. And I was like, okay, it's definitely not it's not a reaction. And I'm like, I don't know if it's just a mental thing, because some people have mental blocks. Like, I have mental blocks against Zangief. I just don't know what it is. Like, everyone has a mental block, right?
Right.
And it might just be Honda jump. I don't know. But at the end of the set, we started seeing Driftwood anti-airing. And it was paying off, and that's how I think how he got to either the 6-4 or 6-5, and then SK adjusted once more, stopped jumping crazy, started doing more of the cross-ups where the uppercuts would miss, and then he won. It was the very end was last 3 games, 2-3 games were very momentum-based, and SNK was able to take that and just roll it to the 7. So
nice.
It was good. It was very good matches. Yeah, it was very fun to commentate with Ernest on those as well.
Yeah, I noticed you two were a pretty good pair. I'm glad that we have some chemistry between Phoenix and Tucson.
Oh, we still talk trash to each other. That's going to happen, but, it's all in jest. We love our Tucson brothers, and they love us. It's just when it comes to, a state battle, of course, we're going to try to beat each other up, but anything else.
But when it's like Arizona versus Cali.
Yeah, no, we're all one family. So
like Arizona versus Cali, like Velociraptor and Crazy EX, which was...
Oh, yeah, we all wanted Crazy EX to win. It didn't matter at that point. Yeah. And he won, so good stuff.
Do you have any thoughts on that matchup?
I think no. I mean, I did. I told Ernest a couple things, about his matchup before with SNK.
Yeah, this is right after he had he got 0-5'd by
it was
SNK,
because he did that and he came talk to me a little bit and then he went to go play Velociraptor and I told him a few things, about how he's playing against SNK and he needed to stop trying to force so many situations and just watch what he's doing and then play off of that instead of going like, well, I can Kami, I can do all these things, and nobody can stop me. Well, and then I don't know if he took it to heart or not, but obviously he changed his game plan, and it was much better. It was more earnest-like. I don't know if it was just like, okay, first game of the night when he played SNK, and it was just kind of like, I'm just going to force these situations because this is what I do, is go through the motions type thing. But when he played Velociraptor, it was more of I can see him actually processing situations, thinking about it, and applying the right one.
I mean, I know like Ernest in particular has nerve issues sometimes. Like he.
I think I've seen that before. Yeah, cheering against him. Yeah.
I've seen him fall a little bit.
Yeah.
Falter, I guess.
I haven't really seen it that much lately, but I mean, it goes away over time. I love it when people are rooting against me. I don't know what it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think I have a worse time when people are rooting for me.
Oh, because you feel like you don't want to let them down.
It's not even about letting them down, because then I get a smile on my face, and I start laughing, and I like loosen up in my head, and it's like, oh crap. So, but when people are rooting against me, I start focusing. I get mad. I don't know. I guess everyone's different.
Rage dog.
Yeah, there we go, rage dog. But no, they're all very good matches. Every single marquee match I saw that night was very good. It was a very well put together event. It was good matches selected, and it was a good time, a very good time.
Very cool. And yeah, so like any other matches we had for Street Fighter 4 that were recorded, were also put on Abe's channel down there. I don't know where he got that number. It's said 120682.
That's very random.
That's not said 3S. That is not the said 3S that we know and love. But that YouTube channel has additional footage of like I know John and Nick did a money match. They did a Cali money match or something.
Oh yeah, I think that was on that was in the back room. So I guess that was on Abe's stream, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We had a what's it called, a salty room. I don't know.
Salty room?
Yeah,
salty room number 2.
Oh, it's his birthday. Oh, I get it. Okay. Oh. 1206.
Yeah, because we're all supposed to know that one.
I thought it was like a couple digits of his social or something.
I thought he was just the 120,000th said character on YouTube.
So many saids. All right.
But only one said 3S.
So moving on here, we closed out the night with the Marvel exhibition match, or rather, we closed out the night with Marvel headliner matches. But prior to that, we had we had some guests fly out, or not fly out, but they drove out from Las Vegas. Team Hitbox.
Yeah, that was really cool to see them come out. I had no idea they were coming out until I got there. I was like,
really?
oh, cool, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Did Rock ever talk to them? Because who plays Hitbox?
Yeah, actually, I remember during the exhibition, Rock was like, I play on a Hitbox, so I love these guys, but AZ's gonna win. I want AZ to win. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, that's funny. He's like, I know. I was gonna say, oh no, it's fine because I play like fantasy football, right? And I'm a Steelers fan. Boo, boo, yeah, whatever. But I like last weekend. Like, what sucks is when you have, two things you like and they play against each other.
Yeah.
It's what I was thinking about. As soon as you said that, I was making me think about fantasy football. Like, I watch the Steelers, but I have a player going against the Steelers. It's like, I do. So I can see the same thing with Rock, and it's pretty funny. That's getting off topic, but whatever.
I get you.
So the Hitbox and the AZ team was actually really fun to watch, and I think any other day that score could have been flipped. I mean, they were close matches.
Oh yeah, like actually, if you look at the rest of the matches, like it wasn't even a day's difference. It was within a couple of hours.
Right.
They flipped. So like the way it went out was Ninja Nam started off the match for Arizona, and he went through, I believe, 2 of their players.
No, he beat one.
He beat Trophy Club.
Right, and almost beat the second one, which was the MODOK player.
Dustin.
Right.
Or Hitbox Creator. And his name is Hitbox Creator because he actually created the Hitbox.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He's the guy who owns the company and everything.
Okay, and then Diego came up, and I think he went 3-2, 3-2, 3-2.
Yep.
And I was like, whoa. I mean, these
Diego
are close.
Barely skirts.
Yeah.
Time. Yep.
So it's, Ford and Aziz, unfortunately, you get to play.
Didn't get to play. Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't mind.
Like after seeing what Diego had to go through. So Fizzy Cups, he went and he 3-1 or 3-0'd the rest of the guys, or 3-2 the rest of the guys, and then Hitbox team was Trophy Club, Buttons, who's a Hagar player, and Hagar Captain America Sentinel, which is a very
that team is different. Yeah, when I saw that team select, I thought it was a button select, and then. No, I was like, okay, this isn't a button select. This is for real.
I went with Utah. I went to Utah with a couple of the hazmat guys, and we actually saw some of the Hitbox guys there. And Buttons put Justin Wong into losers, and he had to go back and fight them.
Wow!
So it's pretty nuts. Granted, in the end, Justin Wong won anyway.
Right. But Creator is the one that plays MODOK?
Creator's the one who plays MODOK.
Those MODOK combos are amazing. I've never seen optimized combos like that with MODOK before.
He's got the optimized combos, and like I am kind of familiar with the character just because Dana, who hosted the last couple shows ago, he has those combos too. Not nearly as consistently as Dustin, but the big thing that Dustin has, or Mr. Creator has, is the setups afterwards. He has pure unblockable setups.
Oh, they're unblockable. Okay.
Yeah. He has this. MODOK has this thing that's like a goo. Like it's like green goo.
Yeah, he uses it for the OT.
It uses it for the OTG, right? So like, but it like has an arc and it hits you in the head.
Oh, and he goes low.
It hits you in the head, so it doesn't do anything. But if it hits in front of you, it'll spread on the ground and then it'll hit low. So there's some incredibly precise timing. You have to make it miss. Like, so what he would do is he would actually throw it in the corner behind them.
Oh, okay.
It was so nutty.
Whoa.
And it would cause full unblockables like that. Yeah. So he's got these mad setups, and he's got movement that's only possible on a hitbox.
Really? There's certain things you can only do on hitbox.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then rounding out the team was Hitbox Sora, who was a Zero May Cry player. He recently came out with a video that walks through all of Zero May Cry, and it was actually very informative. He and I had a good heart-to-heart about Zero.
About the team?
Yeah.
I think that team needs to be, you got to evolve, and it's something else. That's my opinion.
We both think that team's going out of style.
Right.
Sure.
That's what I think that's what I was telling you a little while ago.
Yep.
But let's not forget, too, we also had Cousin Terrio versus Holy Order Troll.
Yep. I know Holy Order Troll, those are her first bar fights ever, and she was very, very keen on money matching a couple people.
She was the one that wanted. That's awesome.
Yeah, she was very aggressive about it.
So who is Cousin Terrio?
His name's Clarence. I actually just saw him tonight because he left his headphones and he came pick them up.
Okay.
Let me see. I actually don't know too much about him.
Is he a newer player?
He's a newer player.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a dad and he's got a family out here. And
oh, really? He looks really young too.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. He's I think he's a little bit older than I am, but.
So did he move out here from somewhere?
Yeah, he's from just told me. Indiana.
Oh, okay.
He's from Indiana.
Well, that's cool to see some. Well, I always love seeing new faces.
Yep.
So I was kind of goofing around when they were playing, like, because I was just like, who's Cousin Terry O? So I started off with a little O, and then if you lose a match, you go down to the smaller O.
You got to upgrade him and everything.
Yeah, he's evolving. Yeah. But those are fun matches to watch, too. You can see both of them are still getting familiar with their teams, but as the matches were going, you can already see them getting better as the set goes longer, and it was really cool to see that.
They were kind of loosening up a little bit, but they were cracking
exactly.
under the pressure early on. But like you said earlier, that the fortunes of the Arizona team could have swapped in an instant.
Oh yeah, and just like these scores show. Yeah,
like Hitbox Buttons went back and money matched SSE Fizzy Cups.
I bet he was a little upset on that one.
Oh yeah, he was super upset. Yeah, he was in the thread talking today about how his stick is broken. So like,
he broke it because he was mad.
No. It's just like there was like problems with his stick. So like, I think that's gonna be his reasoning for that score. All right. Tubazo, who was our MC for the night, wonderful job MCing, by the way.
Yeah, he always does a good job.
Yeah, he wasn't on the Arizona team because of his MC duties, but like he went back and money matched the Hitbox creator, and didn't fare so well there either.
I missed that one. I was in the back room actually playing some Cross Tekken, trying to get some matches in because I was like, talking on the mic, drinking, and all that stuff. I was like, oh crap, I'm here playing all these fighting games. I haven't even played a game yet.
I don't think I played any. I played a couple games, actually, never mind. But, I actually missed one of the scores on here. It was Forward versus Sora.
Oh, I missed that one, too.
Sora won 5-3.
Really?
Or 5-2 or 5-3.
Wow.
Zero May Cry over Sean's Viper Doom Strider.
That's pretty impressive, because Sean knows how to fight Zero.
Yeah, he does. So, 5-2? Yikes. So, like, I didn't see Aziz play any of those guys, but basically the Hitbox guys went back and beat most of Team Arizona, or at least showed that they could beat Team Arizona.
Right. That's so funny, because I didn't watch those matches, but I was like telling people, like, man, any other day, this could have been the other way around.
Yep. And
sure enough, there we go. It was just an hour later.
So, like, as an Arizona player, I'm actually kind of angry that it turned out like this, like that our guys, I thought, basically, when I was promoting this event, everybody told me that Arizona is going to beat them free. Everybody. And it pissed me off before the event actually happened, because I was like, I was worried that we were becoming California.
Oh, you said you were getting too big-headed.
I think we were becoming jaded as a scene, where we start expecting people to come and then try to fight us. Like, when I went to SoCal Regionals, and I don't mean to talk too much shit.
No, that's fine. Let's talk about it.
I went to SoCal Regionals, and I think I talked to you about this. I'm like, why is everybody an asshole? Like, everybody, like, basically, they're like, if I show up and I beat a lot of people, which is exactly what I did, they were like, oh, who is this guy?
Okay,
he's not from California. Who is this guy?
Okay, so okay, I know exactly what you're feeling, and Abe was gonna laugh at this, but there's players, the older school players, and I'm guilty of this sometimes too. I'm not very vocal about it. It's, if I don't know you, you're not good, and they didn't know you. Right, and it's a pride thing.
New gen people.
Well, but they're being trained by.
True.
Right, California's they're very good about training the new blood. So I think that's what they're taking into some of that mentality from the OGs, I guess you could say.
Yes.
But I mean, I'm not justifying it, right? But I'm saying that's exactly what it is. See, and Abe is agreeing. It's exactly what it is. If I don't know you, then I should beat you because you're not known, right? So, and it's just a pride issue, and some people are just more vocal about it.
Sure.
I'm not justifying it.
No,
it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And so I understand what you're saying, and I can feel your concern for it. I don't think it's at that point yet, but it's a good subject to bring up.
The mindset that I got from California was that they were just jaded, and I feel like Arizona was like that too, because everyone was like, "Yeah, we're gonna win for free."
I wouldn't call it jaded. It's call it they're very confident.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And sometimes just too vocal on being upset that they lost.
So another instance is like the Hitbox guys actually wanted to come out and play early against our scene, but nobody stepped up because they didn't really care. Like, I honestly, like, I didn't really get the reception for these guys that I was hoping for, because like, these are out of state guys, and they're invaders, so we want to beat them. We want to make sure that we can.
But they're also your guests.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, as a TO, this is probably the best turnout, or the best turn of events for me, because Hitbox guys got wins. They represented themselves. They created real drama for our scene. Like, they showed that that our scene is not invincible, and they humble our guys a little bit, and so it's keeping both parties hungry.
No, and I can't speak for the Marvel scene because I don't, I love watching you guys play, and I'm friends with a lot of you guys. But I don't know the intricacies between everybody.
Sure.
In the 4 scene, cross Tekken scene, I don't really see it that much. So that's why I said I don't really think it's at that level. But you would know better than I would, and I think it's a good thing to bring up because we don't want to be that way. We want our scene to grow because if we're like that way to out of staters, we're going to be that same way to somebody just moved to Arizona,
right,
or somebody just picked up that copy from GameStop and wants to learn how to play,
right.
So
by no means am I saying that like our scene just shat all over them or anything like that. I apologize if I was getting a little too hyperbolic there. It is more that the indifference that I got.
Yeah, no, and I can understand that. That's like it's something good to bring up. I don't think there's a reason to apologize about it at all. I think it's if obviously if you're thinking about it, it's a concern, and we should talk about it. So
yep. So but the Hitbox guys were completely good sports about it, and again, they got the wins that they came to get.
So I'm actually now that you told me that's great to see that they kind of even it up. So now it's going to have to be a rematch.
One of the things that they told, exactly. We're going to have a rivalry going now. That's probably one of the best things that could come out of this.
That's the best thing that comes out of it. Yeah.
One of the things that they told me that they were like the reason why they're coming out, like they go to the run back all the time too, and they come. The reason
that's
why
an
they
easy
wanted
drive
to come
for
out
them,
here. The reason why they wanted to come out here is because they wanted to see how they dealt with pressure. So like our Marvel scene,
that's a lot of pressure. Yeah,
our Marvel scene's loud and obnoxious.
Well, and I was being very rude. I was being very rude.
So sometimes I wonder if like
I was telling them to take their teams back online.
Take your team back online. That's awesome.
I think I told them to hack our team that.
Oh man, see we have like John, not Soy, who's just super loud and very very coarse.
At least he didn't have a stick to throw again.
But like so sometimes I wonder if like maybe the pressure that was not necessarily present in the later matches got to them during the exhibition. And that reflects.
But that's what they wanted, though.
That's what they wanted. Yep. So
okay, well that's cool. It's good stuff to talk about.
Yeah. So again, I'm glad that the Hitbox guys came out. I'm glad that our guys were humbled, but also not broken. Like they're hungrier, I think now.
That's great. And I can see it. I mean, like I said, I'm friends with a lot of the Marvel crew here, but I'm not, a Marvel player.
Sure.
But I understand the game. I might understand like all these unblockable setups, but I can follow the game and I can give advice maybe. But I can see these newer players, right? I consider them new because I didn't see them until maybe a year ago, and they're getting really good. And I know some of these teams are very execution heavy. Who is it plays Nemo's team? Nom. And they're like, wow, this guy's actually pulling off the Nemo stuff. This is not easy to do. So it was actually just really cool to see that. People are putting in work out here, and so seeing them stay hungry, that's great. I think the Marvel scene in Arizona is the most thriving scene that we have for fighting games out here.
Sure, yeah.
And I hope it stays that way.
It's not necessarily the biggest, but I do think that it's the most thriving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope it stays that way because you guys are doing good things, and obviously you guys are getting recognized. Angelic's,
Oh yeah.
Look at Angelic, right? He put in so much work, and he's repping Arizona, so it just helps everybody here. So.
Yep, definitely. Armando totally looks out after the scene. I think moving on a little bit because I think we're kind of going over on time.
That's fine.
One of the things I do want to bring up is a thank you to everybody who donated during bar fights. We had 3 gracious donatees.
Did you pay for that picture of 1 foot wood?
I ordered it off of a catalog and it was shipped to me. And I cut it off, but there's a little autograph underneath.
Because I got that same catalog.
John.
That's why I got that same catalog.
To John Lovenick. No,
it's deepvs.com.
Deepvs.com. Oh man! But
I give him a lot of flack. I give him a lot of flack, and I do it all in jest. I love him. He's a great kid.
He's very, very.
He takes it so well. That's why I do.
He's a classy motherfucker.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, so we give him shit, and he gives me money. And so, so thank you to Driftwood, Neff, and Mr. SNK for their kind donations to our SSE cause. We will continue running future events with keeping the same level of quality.
Oh yeah, and you guys have been doing it. Every event has gotten better and better and better, and your professionalism is getting better and better. I can't wait for you guys' next event. It's been really good.
Appreciate it. Thank you. So I think that's pretty much it for bar fights. Let's go back to the agenda real quick here. So, actually touching real quick again on bar fights. One of the biggest shows from that event was one of our players, Mr. SNK, and he is the subject of our player spotlight for this episode. Bum. Why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit about Mr. SNK?
Well, okay, SNK is.
You can read the slide.
I'm like, I can read the slide if you want. No, he's a local player. He's been playing Honda. His main is Honda. He has a couple other characters in Street Fighter 4, but he's most notable for Honda. He's done very well. He went to the SBO qualifiers with Latif and trolled everybody there with Latif, which is a great, because man, talking about Californians not liking outsiders winning.
Yeah,
holy cow, did they get mad about that one?
They come in and take their plane tickets. Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing. He's gotten many third places under his belt, but to be fair, he's also gotten quite a few first places here in the Rambats too. So I think he's broken the third place curse that he thinks he has still. But the thing about SNK, and he's posted about this too. I look at SNK, and him and Mike Ross have a lot of similarities in their play, right? And that's why they always kind of troll each other, and they'll change name tags, and some people think it's real. Like sometimes it's funny, but and then what it is, the difference between them playing Honda and the majority playing Honda, I mean, not saying everybody else does this, is that, like in his matches, if he knows a certain situation is just not a winnable situation, he's got to think of something else, some other way to make you break down, right, and then outplay you. And like I said before, like opening up with Ocho grab on a knockdown, who does that? I don't remember ever seeing a Honda doing that before. I'm like, this is brilliant. That's a great move, and because not only did it hit, I'm sure Driftwood is like, what the fuck? Why did he do that? And then the next 10 seconds, he's thinking about what happened, but now he's getting hit by something else. So,
right.
And that's the kind of player you have to be, especially when you're playing a character like Honda that has notoriously bad matchups, or like Ballard or like Blanca. These characters that are very flip-flop on matchups, like some are huge favorites, some are unfavored. And to take it to a higher level, like SNK has and like Mike Ross has, you have to do that. You have to be a very smart player. And it's one thing that SNK is that. He's a very smart player, and he's really good at reading what the opponent's going to do. And he plays a character that capitalizes on that because the damage is so high. So, yeah, I mean, that's a little bit about SNK. He's been playing for a while. I know he played CVS2 for a while. I'm not too familiar with his Soul Calibur or VF days because we didn't really know each other that long ago. So, but no, he's a great player, and he's definitely one, if not one of our best Street Fighter 4 players in the state. Hopefully he keeps playing. Ultra definitely would like to have him on a team, Arizona's team. I'm sure he will. So yeah, that's SNK.
I'm kind of banking on him to because he has told me that he's taking a break.
I thought he was already taking a break. That's why I was surprised to see him at the bar fight.
I think he was there to kind of like show that he's still like a threat, but like I know he's been taking a break until Ultra starts, and I'm kind of banking on him to raise the bar on our Phoenix scene again.
Yeah,
boost him up.
And if Ultra is as good as I think it's going to be, I'm hoping to be one of them as well. So I'm getting excited about the game. I wasn't excited about it. I'm getting excited about it now. So, but yeah, SNK. He, like I said, he is one of our top players, and that's something that these players can, these up and comers can take out of. It's like, okay, for example, look at Ryu. Okay. And then look at how Daigo plays Ryu. Look at how Alex plays Ryu. Look at how Choi plays Ryu. Look at how Laugh plays Ryu, and they're all very different. But they all win, right? They don't force themselves to play the matchup like everyone thinks it's supposed to be played.
It's a very open-ended. Yeah, it's like he takes what little tools that character has and then melds them to the correct
right. He plays it. He has his own play style, right, and he can adapt on the fly. And he's not like just so focused on like frame data, so focused on like, well, okay, this is what the videos I watch this player do. So this is what I got to do now, and that's. That's the sign of a good player, is when somebody that can go, okay, develop his own strategy to see beyond, like, okay, this is what textbook says, so I'm going to use that against him, because this is what he's probably going to do, type stuff. It's the metagame. It's a metagame.
Yeah, and, like, that kind of, like, even leaks out into his personality, too. Like, he's very much about psyching you up in person, too.
Exactly.
So, like, I can kind of, it's very cool to see how SNK translates his play to that kind of stuff, but... oops, that was my phone. But yeah, like I've known him since I first started playing Street Fighter and competitive fighting games in general, or competitive video games in general. I think I have a funny story where I'm an 09er, so I started like right after the Devastation 09.
Yeah, I think I met you and Louis and
Reese, right?
Reese all at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, like, I remember one of the first things I did when I went to the Rambat, and I was all scared because, a tournament.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty frightening at the first time.
I was like, you're Rick Dog. I saw you on the internet, man.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I think that was, and you let me use your stick and everything, and I thought that was really cool. And then, like, I did the same thing with Nico. I said, "You're Mr. SNK." Like, I was just like, these guys here are local legends.
You're like, you're older than you.
Did I say that?
No, I'm just kidding.
That'd be awesome. Old dog.
Right.
Oh man.
It's funny you say that because Luminaire Mike,
Mm-hmm.
almost exactly verbatim, he said the same thing to me. But we met at Evo,
Oh really?
right? And I'm never gonna let him live this down. But so he meets me at Evo, and we're both pretty wasted. It was like, I think it was
That was with the absinthe, right?
final. Yeah, absinthe. Yeah, I think it was the final day. It was the final day of BYOB, and so the back wall had some money matches going on. And he's like, come up stumbling. It's like, you're Rick from Arizona, huh? Rick Dog. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? He's like, hey, I'm Mike. And then Alex was there, and I talked to Alex a little bit. And he goes, I want to money match you. I'm like, dude, I've been drinking all day. You want to money match me? He's like, yeah, I want you to play Blanca. I'm like, I don't even play Blanca anymore. So I was like, fine. So I played Blanca, and I beat him like 3-0 for $5.
Nice.
Right? And he's like, man, I got you more money for food. And I was like, give him the $5 back. Right? Because I was like, whatever, it's just $5. And then he goes to money matches his Honda player, and then loses that money, and then I just started talking shit to him. But that was like our first experience. But it was just like very funny that he said that because they reminded me of Mike. So.
Right. Oh man, yeah. Like a lot of my earliest memories in the fighting game community are like watching SNK struggle. Well, in vanilla struggle against Sagat and Dan Sagat and all that crap.
Yeah.
But I just watched him like grow as a player and somebody who was like basically looking up at them because he was just a much better player from the get go. And so like seeing how faithful and like he put a lot of pride in calling himself a character specialist for a long time. Like,
right.
He's been playing the same character at such a high level for 4 years now.
You make me think about it because in the beginning it was Scott, Dan, myself. Too Tall was placing very well in the beginning. I think he took a couple first in the very first couple of months, and then there was Juicebox, and that actually really wasn't that much till the end of Vanilla. I don't think. Yeah, we're gonna whatever. I'll talk about him. But so you say that. Yeah, he's definitely gone up quite a bit from Vanilla. Yeah, I kind of just was putting in my mind that he was always up there.
Yeah, I imagine that was one of his first like really heavy competitive games with the scene, right?
Well, he was was competitive in CVS too, but I think he was getting competitive when I was dropping out of it.
Okay.
Because I dropped out of it when the Evo after role canceling was figured out,
right.
And it made me really upset. And I hated the game at that point. So, but people still played it, and they just kind of changed the game with that. And I think that's when he started taking it really serious. So that would be a reason why I didn't really meet him then.
Very cool.
Or like not really, I shouldn't say meet him, but didn't really like play with him then. So.
Okay. That pretty much wraps up our spotlight on Mr. SNK. Thank you again for doing so well.
Yeah, good stuff at SNK. I mean, he put up 2 really entertaining matches.
Yes.
And he won 2 matches that Honda typically doesn't win. And again, I go back to like, well, what did he do? He made it a player versus player game. Yep. So it's very good on him.
As a TO, like scheduling an exhibition match with a Honda player is probably one of the worst things.
Yeah, right, because you're worried about time.
You're worried about time, you're worried about hype, and Honda is neither of those things unless you put SNK on the screen, like we are doing right there, and he is just about to win another game. So good shit, Mr. SNK.
Yeah, very good.
All right, so let's go back to our agenda here. So every now and then we have time for a special segment that our co-host gets to choose, and last time we talked about Daigo Umehara with Dana and his mindset and everything.
Oh, okay.
And,
that was a good subject. I probably should listen to that one.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. Not to plug my own show.
No, I actually I've watched a couple of them. I've just been so busy the last couple of weeks. It's been really tough. But
you've been busy reading up on Ultra Street Fighter 4, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Played too much League. It's probably the honest answer.
So, Rick Dad's lecture, Ultra Street Fighter 4. Guest star.
So yeah, here we go. This is the hype trailer.
Yeah, this is the hype trailer. I don't know. Do you want the sound on this?
No, that's fine. I mean, we've let people watch it. Maybe they haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. I get you.
It's not very long. So here's the announcement, right? So this was done right after Evo, or maybe at Evo. I can't remember if this was the same video they showed. So basically, this first half of the video is not really showing you anything. It's just some really awesome parts of
Awesome
Street Fighter 4.
moments,
Like that
yeah.
moment there with Daigo is so amazing. I love that one.
It's a testament to how strong the community is, and like it's been around for 4 years now. This game.
Yeah, we're going on 5 years now. Yeah.
We've been playing it for a long time.
So this is the big thing, right? So we got 5 new characters. And the fear was that these characters are going to be straight up copies from Cross Tekken.
Right.
But then we're finding out that they're not. The models are, but the characters themselves are
Yeah,
not.
they have to make them fit in the engine, and so it's like okay, so real quick, so Hugo, like, without, like, he doesn't have the armor charge thing anymore.
Right.
I imagine. So like, how does that change how he plays? You know, they have.
Well,
to
and
do
that's
so much
funny you bring it
around
up
him.
because I think it was Peter Rose's Combo Fiend was talking about it, saying they're having a very hard time balancing Hugo because the smallest tweak makes him too strong, the smallest tweak makes him too weak, and that's I'm very worried about that character, but I'm very confident that Combo Fiend will do it right.
Mm-hmm.
And to go on to that, look at Cross Tekken, right? You look at the vanilla, and then Peter gets on board and kind of is more of a consultant, helps him out in balancing it out, and then look at the new version of Cross Tekken.
Cross
It's
Tekken comes
such
out
a
looking
big
amazing.
difference,
Yep.
right? And it's an amazing game. All these characters are viable, and you can look at any of the top Cross Tekken tournaments, just to get back on Cross Tekken a little bit, and there's like, every team is different. There might be some similar characters here and there, probably like Nina or Locke, just because they're easier to get into, but there's a lot of different varieties. So, basing off of his previous work, I'm very confident that he'll figure out a way to make Hugo a good character without being too strong, too weak. Yeah, Hugo is a grappler, I understand that, but he has Rekkas, right? He's like a slap and clap, and he has clotheslines. So he's kind of a wrestler, a grappler. I mean, I don't know. You just have to, I guess you have to play Third Strike to understand that one.
So yeah, you have all these new characters like Rolento, Poison, Elena, and Hugo. Those
Right.
are the ones that have been announced, and
And then there's a 5th character that nobody knows.
yeah.
The only thing we know is it's never been in the Street Fighter world. So that's. I was like, wow, that could be anybody.
Well, yeah, they've never been in a Street Fighter game before, right?
Well,
Like,
I think he said not in the Street Fighter universe,
Oh wow. Okay.
but I might be wrong.
Okay.
So
Either way, like that's. I mean, obviously they're gonna hold that card to their chest like as long as possible to sell it.
oh yeah, of
So,
course,
like-
right? This is gonna be the thing they announced probably like a month before the release or something like that.
I'm honestly, I'm kind of like at this point, I'm like, I'm preparing myself to get let down. It's probably a bad
well,
box art.
you know what? Even if that 5th character is just some like Dan version 2 or something, you know, like just a joke character. The 4 characters they have in there, at first I was kind of like, because they were cross-Tekken characters.
Yeah, they're cross-Tekken
But now I
characters.
think about it, I'm like, okay, you know what? These characters all fit.
Right.
They fit very well, and I'm excited to see how they're going to play. Rolento, I'm super scared of because they're changing his movement. They're making it more CVS, or I'm sorry, Alpha-like.
Uh-huh.
So he's going to be more movement heavy instead of when we're in cross-Tekken, he's more, just kind of like annoy you with stand jab.
Right.
So that can be really good, especially if his little knife he throws out. And I'm like, and if it's anything like his older versions, he's going to be a dominant character. So it's going to be exciting to see him. And I'm really hyped for Alina. I think she
Alina.
fits amazing in this game. The fact that she can juggle off that slide opens up some interesting option selects. Right? So I figure she's going to be like the next Bison-like character.
Yeah, she has like a very, very strong ground neutral.
Right.
game with her strong normals
She
and
just
stuff.
gets her damages 60, 90 at a time.
Yeah.
But she annoys the hell out of you. But if her DP is decent, then she's going to be a very tough character to deal with because she has anti-fireball, she has a DP, she has very long-range pokes. That's a great high-low game. Right? And so I'm excited for her. And then, of course, we have Poison,
Poison,
which is the first character I'm going to try out.
She strikes me as a character that kind of had like an identity crisis in Cross because she she was both. She had a fireball, she had Rekkas, she had strong normal. She just like
She's a little bit of everything.
She was a little bit of everything, but not the best of anything.
Right.
But not like Ryu either.
Right. And that's why Cross she's okay, but I think because of that she's going to be amazing in 4.
Well, do you think they'll like try to steer her in a way and design her like in a certain style more? Like maybe
well,
maybe
from
even
what
get rid
we've
of her
seen-
fireball or something. Or?
From what we've seen, she has pretty much the same specials. Right, they're just changing arcs and stuff like that. Like her backdash looks a little longer now, and she has a manual overhead. But the fact that if her anti-air is anywhere as good as it is in Cross Tekken, and if her little anti-fireball move is anywhere near as fast as it is in Cross Tekken, you can't do anything safely against her, right? So
Right.
I'm excited to play her. I think she can be like an ultimate zoning character from any range, and it's all going to depend, I think, on her Rekka. If her Rekka is like super negative,
Yeah.
it's going to change a little bit, and she's going to be super defensive.
Uh-huh.
If her Rekka is like -1, -2, maybe even 0, then she can flip flop between the offensive defensive.
Right.
Kind of like a little bit more like Rose's, where she can kind of go back and forth if she wants to be offensive or defensive, but she's gonna have more options, I think. So I'm excited for that character. Really excited for that character. And then of course all the changes that we've been hearing.
Yeah, actually,
don't ask me too many on the changes because there's a lot of them out there. I only remember a few right now.
I did want to bring a little bit of that to the forefront. One of the things that they did here, let's see, there we go, based on fan feedback, and so like for those who are not in the know, like they have Capcom Unity, they put like basically topics for each character, and then people posted up their suggestions, and then Combo Fiend had to wade through all those suggestions.
Right, obviously he's not going to do like,
viable.
Ryu should have a 900 damage uppercut type thing.
Yeah,
those things get thrown out the window.
right. But this is incredibly interesting to me because of just the level of fan feedback. Yeah, the level of, well, at least that's what they've said, at least, is like the amount of feedback that they've been, what's it called?
But how they're listening to the fans?
Yeah, how they're listening to the fans. Like, we hear, like, that's the buzzword for gaming companies nowadays.
Well,
it's like, we're listening to the community and stuff like that.
Red
This is the first time.
Focus was a community.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't think of that. They even came out and said they even told you who it was that came up with it.
Who, really?
I can't remember. It was somebody in the Cap community forums.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so they're like, we listened to you, we tried it out, we like it, we're going to put it in there.
So, like, Red Focus, actually. Let's move in.
Let's go through the new mechanics.
Okay.
So we have a couple different ones. We have Red Focus, right? So 3 new mechanics, I believe. So we have Red Focus being the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's the same thing as Focus. You get to, charge up an attack, and you get a crumple on it when it hits. But the difference is, this takes 2 bars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Takes 2 bars, and instead of only absorbing 1 attack, you get to absorb as many attacks as you want. But before everyone starts going, oh my god, it sounds too strong, you can still break it with an armor break. So, for example, Ryu can still Hurricane Kick break it, and they just lost 2 bars. It still took the extra damage. You still get the 20% damage taken extra. I think it's 20 or 15. And so it's not overpowered. I think you're going to... At first, I thought it was going to be more of a defensive option, because before I didn't know anything about delayed get-up, because we'll talk about that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be used to get out of vortex situations, because you're not going to be able to option select because you're absorbing attacks type thing.
Right.
But now that I think about it, because they even came out with more, I don't remember if they said every character is going to get this, but level 1 Red Focus can crumple.
Yeah, that's actually incredibly
Right?
interesting.
So it's making me think, my mind is going 100 miles an hour now. I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, first thing I thought was a Blanca, right? So I'm like, okay, you do ball combo and you do Red Focus, you get crumple, that's ultra.
Yep.
I'm like, holy cow. Like, he has ultra combos now?
Basically, you give every character in the game a way to combo
Right,
that ultra.
that's great for charge characters because it's really hard to land them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be more of the offensive tool. So it's either, okay, do I use 2 bars for Red Focus, or do I FADC, right?
Well, that's the thing is, like, it's an amazing option for all the characters, but, like, you need 4 bars to do it. You need 2 bars for the Red Focus and 2 bars to FADC into that Red Focus.
Right.
And so, like, or just focus
if you're going
cancel.
to if you're going to cancel it, right? Or you
Yeah.
just let it hit, and maybe you have something you can do before they fall.
If it's a level 1, yeah, like, it's you just let it go, and I think it hits and crumples. Like,
So, like another
it's
example.
4 bars, though. That's the big
That's a
thing.
lot, right? And so I think it's balanced fine.
Yep.
I think it's balanced fine. And if it does the same thing with the damage scaling like Focus does already, where it starts automatically damage scaling the combo,
Right.
that'll be fine. But instead of, he's like, okay, great, I can do these 2 bars and FADC, say with Ryu, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll Red Focus him. Maybe my combo's long. I'll Red Focus him. I'll not dash cancel it. And then now maybe I'll do down short or down forward and light Hurricane Kick for a reset option because they're going to flip out. I'm just as an idea. That might be a really bad one, but it's just something I'm kind of putting out there. You can make them manually flip out to avoid the other mechanic that's coming out right now, delayed get up. So
Right.
so we got another mechanic now. This just got announced, delayed get up. I am so happy to hear this. This is great. This is not the first time Capcom's used delayed get up. Some people are going out there, oh my god, this is going to be like, no, they've done this before.
CVS2, right?
Right, yeah, they've done this before, and this is not the first time they've done an alternate get up. I mean, there's rolls, there's there's delayed get ups, there's fast get ups.
Right.
So this, everyone's. I think people that are going a little like, oh my god, this is going to ruin the game, are the ones that are relying too much on vortex and setups, right? No, as long as it's done correctly, it's going to be an amazing.
Yeah, I think that as long as it's something like,
And it just needs to be a small amount, right?
Yeah.
You know, like 10, 12, 16 frames, something like that.
well, the thing is, like, if it's a state where you either delay get up or you don't, as opposed to like having like 5 or 6 different kinds of delay wake up.
Oh no, it's going to be one or the other. There's no way it's going to be like.
Like, I personally would have rather seen a forward roll from cross.
Yeah, but I think they maybe would have put that in there, but then they might have got more bad PR because they'd be like, oh, copying another thing from cross tech in, you know. I personally, I wouldn't mind either one. I don't mind either one. I want an option that I'm not forced into an automatic losing situation.
Right.
Yes, I understand I got knocked down, so I should be punished. But I shouldn't be punished to the point where I can't even make a decision.
Yeah.
Right? Punish me to the point where, like, okay, I just need to react fast enough to block. I need to react to your empty jump. Right? I need to do something like that. Don't put me in a spot where, oh, it's unblockable. Oh, it's a 50-50, and there's no way to tell. That's what I get upset about, and that's why I'm like, okay, don't automatically put me in a losing position. Put me in a position that's I'm at a disadvantage. Sure, I understand that. I should get punished because I got knocked down. This gives me that option now where, okay, you can still play off of it. If I delay get up, you call it right. You still get to get pressure on me. That's fine. The same thing across decade. You call the roll, you get the throw.
Right.
So I think it's great. It's still, you get a knockdown, it's still a great thing. And you can still punish them for it because it becomes more meta-based, which is I'm a big fan of. I like it when it becomes a player versus player.
My only concern is that, I think actually the delay wake up was the best way to get around this. Is that anytime, so yeah, the vortexes need to go. Vortexes are they're one player games.
Right.
Like I do put, as a, like, just my style, I do put a lot of value on hard knockdowns. I think that it's very easy to get into a position where you devalue the effort it takes to get to a hard knockdown.
Oh, I understand. I understand the concern with that,
Right.
and I go back to, okay, Combo Fiend's in this. He knows what he's doing, obviously, and this is not the first time they've done an alternate wake up.
Right.
So I'm pretty confident it's going to be done correctly at a point where the person that got the knockdown is still going to be able to take advantage of being knocked down.
Right.
Obviously, we won't know until these tests start happening.
My biggest worry is that, like, if you, like, call the delayed knockdown wrong, I don't think that they should be.
Oh, get a punish or something?
Yeah, punish.
Oh, no. Yeah, I agree. There shouldn't be like, oh, you know.
It shouldn't be like a giant reversal of
yeah.
because you get
it should be like, oh, I delay get up, so now I get to do my, full combo.
And honestly, that's kind of what FADC Ultra was for a while. Or, DP FADC Ultra is like, you're in block stun, so you're at a disadvantage, but, FADC Ultra through something.
Yeah, and that's just the mechanic of Street Fighter 4.
They responded to that by just nerfing the damage on a lot of the DP FADC Ultras.
Yeah, they lowered it, and they said,
Ultras.
okay, no more fierce FADC with Ryu, for
Right.
example, right? So you couldn't get the high damage uppercut.
So that's what I do think they
made a strong 2 hits. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I think that they're doing a good, like, they're recognizing that they don't want to give too much power to the person on the defense, which is kind of
right.
Like what you were scared of with KI,
Right, right.
So, like, I'm like, at first I was like, no, delayed wake up, nah.
Right, I remember, yeah, and I was like,
yeah, I mean, everyone's gonna expect that from a
everyone has
player.
a Twitch reaction,
Yeah.
especially because you play Ibuki.
Yeah,
but I remember you got played. Was it Viper or Ibuki got played against you, and you're like, this is how this game is played. Like, I fucking hate this game, right? So I'm like, see, now you understand what we're talking about.
Getting Vortex sucks.
Yeah, it's and some Vortexes I can kind of deal with, but in general, they shouldn't be at a point where you just can't react, where it's a complete guess. That's an issue. I don't like that.
Sure. I mean, by that logic, though, you could also say that, like, Killer Instinct, you guess with the combo breakers.
No, you don't. You can react.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
Fair.
react. And actually, if you watch the GameSpot or Game something video, they go through the whole training mode. And I don't want to go off the subject of Ultra too much, but the training mode in KI is ridiculous. Frame data, hitbox data, like, it's dumb.
For the life of me, I cannot get this video to, like, appear correctly on the screen. I've been trying this whole time, and I promise you, oh wait, it's on the URL. Parameters. Yeah, I'm a software engineer. All right, there we go. Anyway,
so we talked about delay get up. So obviously this is the one that hasn't been shown yet, but the tests I think are happening this weekend or next weekend.
at Super Arcade.
Is it this weekend or next weekend?
I wish I could tell you.
Either one of them, and either one of them I can't go to. I was really hoping it was the one.
Oh, you're really gonna go to
I was
one?
gonna go.
Oh,
I was
wow.
totally gonna go.
Okay.
Like I told you before, when Ultra was first announced, I was with probably the majority and going like,
Again.
Great, another Street Fighter 4, and I understood it because I was like, okay, they probably didn't have enough time with the new consoles to make a new, new Street Fighter or new whatever.
That's my thinking. Beside, like, why they didn't implement forward rolls is because they don't have the resources to animate a forward roll for the other characters.
Yeah, maybe that too. So I'm like thinking, okay, they're just trying to milk this game another couple years, but then I'm starting to see these changes, starting to read these changes. I'm like, this is going to be a different game now, and I'm very excited for it.
It's very different than Arcade Edition. Like when we went from Super to Arcade Edition, there were no mechanic upgrades.
Right. It
Like
was just characters.
It was just they added a couple characters, and the big thing was it was on an arcade board. But now it's like we have red focus. We have actually we didn't talk very much about double ultras.
Right. So that was the other mechanic. I like it. Some people are afraid of it, and I can understand the fear, especially with characters like Zangief. Right?
I actually don't like that argument. Anytime someone brings that up,
right. But I'm about to counter that.
Okay. Go ahead.
So there's a couple things. First off, almost every Street Fighter has multiple supers. You were always expected to have multiple supers. Why lock this character down to only one thing? That just seemed like a handicap, right? It seems like a bad handicap.
Yeah.
Bad design. Secondly, it's 40% reduced damage. That's huge.
Yep.
So what if Zangief gets the anti-air? It's like 180 damage now, or 200 damage. There's a sacrifice.
Right.
So I love it. It's going to take these characters that absolutely needed both ultras in situations like Zangief, right, where he needed some way to come back. He's always trying to come back.
I mean, I would actually argue that, so damage-wise, when you take in the 40% damage, what's the difference between Ultra 2 and SPD? Like, when they have, a Zangief that has both Ultra 1 and Ultra 2 available to him, and a Zangief that has Ultra 2 and
or
SPD.
Ultra 1, right.
No, and SPD.
Okay.
SPD is pretty much the same thing as Ultra 1, it just has more damage.
Right.
So,
I think he's always up to knock down a little bit.
That's my counter to that argument, is that he's always had those options. He's always had an option that beats both your ground and your air escapes. It's just like everyone's like, oh no, now it does a cinematic. Oh my god, it does so much. But even then, there's a damage reduction, like you said.
Right. So, but the characters that I really are going to see, that I think are going to see benefits, are characters that you might not be happy about, but like Bison, he now has an option against Fireball characters. Like, you don't know I'm going to be using this anti-Fireball Ultra.
Right.
And that's the reason why I was so upset with Bison in particular, that it went from a motion, double course ripples to a charge. I'm like, now there's no reason for the Fireball character to be dumb and throw a Fireball when I have Ultra.
Right.
Like, why would he? Like, that's stupid. So now, when I have both of them, it's kind of opening it up a little bit. I think now it's going to be like, okay, we might see that being used now in that particular scenario. Same thing with Blanca. Now he has an anti-Fireball Ultra as well, and an anti-air Ultra. It's like, okay, maybe now, since I'm not locked down in this one, they'll play differently, and he actually gets the opportunity to use it like it's supposed to be used.
No, I think the character that I play has a 1-frame command grab, or 2-frame command grab, which is terrible to use offensively, but it's great for punishes. And so Chun-Li's another example of her anti-Fireball super.
Yeah.
It's what it does. It's not that you can hit it; it's that it limits their options.
Yeah, it's the fear, right?
It's the fear. And so now you have that, and you have the mind game on top of it, because they might not even you might not even bother to use that punish at all. Like, you might just let a Fireball pass by to just give them the hope that you're using the Ultra 1 instead, Ultra 2 or whatever.
Yeah, right.
But
it's going to open the game up.
Yeah,
it's opening the game up more, and that's exactly what this game needs. It's because this game is getting very narrow right now.
Yes.
It's getting very narrow, and it's getting very repetitive, and it's like, okay, these things needed to happen, and I'm very excited to see what's going to evolve out of it now. Because it really is going to, I think, as of what I'm seeing, it's looking like a brand new game.
What made me drop AE in the first place was when new players were trying to explain to me things that had changed, and they put so much value on, well, you get a setup after this.
Oh yeah,
the word setup is setup.
Right.
And as a Marvel player, I'm like, that's really cool.
That's
cool, I guess.
That's right.
But
that's Marvel.
Then go play Marvel.
Right.
Street Fighter, you wanna play the footsie game, and you wanna play the mind game, and you wanna guess a lot. Well, not guess, but you wanna read your opponent.
Right. I know what you're saying.
It's not setup.
Okay, not to discredit Marvel, because Marvel has a lot of meta involved too. But this is more of it's a, geez, what's the word I'm looking for? Because I don't want to say a chess match, because they both really are chess matches. But I guess there's just more room to set up them for failure, right? You have more time to build this game plan. Whereas I think in Marvel, it's like, this is so fast. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, this is going to be over here soon. Whereas and 4, the nice thing about it in the beginning was like, okay, I'm going to train you the first 40 seconds that you think I'm going to do this,
Right.
and then we're going to come around and I'm going to take
Exactly. Yeah, you can plant. You can play Inception.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, there you go. It's
You
more,
can plant seeds. You
they
can
both have
condition.
metagames. I guess what I'm trying to say is there's really deep metagame in Street Fighter 4, and that's what I want it to happen again, right?
Yeah.
Deep because of the time it takes.
I would say that actually that I think Marvel's more matchup heavy nowadays.
Okay, is it? I don't know.
I think that. Well, no, I think Marvel's more matchup heavy than Street Fighter is, in that Street Fighter you are playing the player more. You condition them more. You read them more. Marvel, it's about playing your matchup and getting your setup properly.
Fair enough. You know more than me on that. So,
but rather, that's how I thought Street Fighter should work. But AE, the way it turned out, is all setups.
It's more Marvel, right?
It's more, just play Marvel then. So
right, yeah.
I'm glad that they're. Anyway, I don't mean to be hating on Street Fighter.
No, yeah, we're not
We're
hating on Marvel at all. They're different games.
Right.
We want them to be different games. That's the argument. We don't want them to be the same game.
And I do think that with the fresh balance changes and with the mechanics changes and all these different options now, it does become less about setups and more about what do you do.
I'm gonna present this problem. How are you gonna solve it? And I'm gonna present this problem. Like you're gonna So I'm excited. And like I said, at first I wasn't, but now I've been reading into it and actually thinking about these changes and what kind of impact it's gonna have. And now I'm seeing it, and I'm like, okay, this is great. I'm excited to play it. And it's funny for me to say that because if you remember me talking at the beginning of the year, I was done. I was absolutely done with this game. And now I'm playing it again.
For sure. Any characters that you're looking to pick up?
I guess I was thinking about Poison for sure. I think me and everybody else are going to try Relento to see if it can fit my playstyle. He just sounds and looks scary at the moment.
Mm.
And he's always been a fun character to play. He's always been a fan favorite to play, just because he has options, so much movement options. You can look like a jackass, or you can be like really calculated. It's great.
Sure.
So
you can't look like a jackass and say, "Ha ha, I knew."
But Poison and Relento for the new characters for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared of actually every new character. I think all of them can be really good, especially Hugo. And I can understand why they're probably spending a little extra time with him because. In my theory, in my mind, I'm like, okay, this character can be absolutely absurd for little things. Like maybe his clap is like a +1. Like, how do you deal with that? It's gonna be interesting to see what comes out. Once they're done and once these new characters, what it's going to change.
Right.
There's a lot of changes that sound a little too harsh. And
like, are you talking about on the existing characters?
Yeah, on existing characters. I like Fei Long, right? I know he's a top character. But I consider him like an honest character for the most part. Now we're starting to see some stuff that's not really honest anymore. But back when I was playing, things like his crouch jab now being a 4-frame.
Is it crouch jab or crouch short? I remember crouch.
I believe
they did something to his crouch short.
It's jab, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I know they did jab because they're going to make it harder to punish with jab Rekka now, and then making Rekka shorter is like that. Almost sounds like too much. Right, it almost sounds like too much of a nerf, but no.
Yeah,
again, I'm putting my trust into Combo Fiend Peter. I believe he knows what he's doing.
I feel like he's like Fei Long is the quintessential honest character, and the problem is they're making every other character in the game honest as well. So he's probably like leagues above them if he specializes in being honest.
Right. But then we look at the same time, then we look at Yang. Right, and getting all these buffs are like, whoa,
Yang.
Right, so it's like, why play Fei? Right, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there's going to be so many changes. It's going to take a while to figure all this out. I mean, all the matchups change.
Right.
Everything changes. It's a brand new game, so it's going to be refreshing. Even as much as I wanted a new Street Fighter to come out, the more I thought about it, the more I understand. I mean, this didn't make sense. New consoles just got released. Like, they don't have time. They need to develop these games. These don't happen, within months. These take years.
You can already tell they're working on a reduced budget because, like, we do
and that too, right?
They do make jokes about the copy and pasting and stuff, and like they are reusing assets, but like they've reused sprites before,
right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's just being efficient.
Yep.
As long as the game is fun and balanced, what does it matter if the model has been copied over?
Right. Like Red Focus is something like. From a production standpoint, you're literally throwing a red filter on a polygon.
Yeah, you're just changing a value on the absorb attack and then changing the filter, right?
Yeah, but like from a gameplay mechanic standpoint, that
it's
changes
huge.
everything.
Yeah,
it's
huge.
Like, I think that's I don't know these little changes that are maybe that can be viewed as like that people act derisive around with the like they're just milking us or anything. Like these are substantial changes.
Right. This is this
It's a
is
new
going to be
game.
the biggest Street Fighter 4 update it's ever seen.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question.
I mean, Super, we freaked out because there was a balance update, and then we could use 2 Ultras. That was our big thing, right?
right? Yeah.
Now it's like we get all those, and we could use the 2 Ultras at the same time, and we get 2 new mechanics.
Right.
In addition to that.
And we got more characters, more balance changes, and fan feedback balance changes, not just Ono going like, I want Yun to be top tier and making him top tier.
Oh yeah,
Right? So,
hey, you got to play the arcade game, man. That could have been a way to like, sell more arcades. They're like, yeah, you got to.
who knows?
So one other thing I want to touch on is in addition to all the hardcore fighting game stuff, new modes. Do you have any insight or any thoughts on?
You know, I don't really remember hearing much about it because I
Really?
was so focused on the mechanics. I know,
Okay.
yeah, you did say that's right. They did say something
New
about
modes
new
and features.
There
Right
it is.
there, yeah. No, I've heard online trading mode so many times.
Oh, that's right.
I feel like they worked it all out with Cross Tekken.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I feel like anything they put in Cross Tekken, they could put in for, like, the engines are, the engines are different. Like they've tweaked them, but like the framework's the same. You
Yeah,
can still
right.
drop
I mean,
it
it's
in.
the same call functions.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Right?
They're still using the same engine, and they're
Right.
still. But I think that online trading mode would be really sick.
That's going to be good, and because online is a big thing now, right?
yeah.
Because even 09, 010, we're like, okay, you play online, you're nothing. Like, but now it's like, whoa, you play online? Like, I got to be careful because you probably grind like 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. How many PP do you have, or PP or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah, it's, but yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'm just excited about it. There's a lot of things to look forward to, and it's not that far along. I mean, it's only 5 months from now, so I think it's April, right?
It's hitting arcades in April. I don't know.
They're actually making an arcade board for this.
Yeah, it's hitting arcades
Oh.
in April 1st, and then we don't know anything about console releases. And that's.
I can't imagine it's gonna be too much later.
I think it's because they want to announce it for PS4. That's my
That
guess.
might, you know what? Now I think about it, maybe it's just like, it's gonna be on 360, PS3, and
Actually, yeah, they have
PS4.
pictures of the
You know, that
box art.
probably makes sense.
Yeah.
And maybe the PS4 has like a fancy filter on it or something, which is gonna give it more frame delay anyways, and nobody will want to play it.
Yeah. Yeah. If they release it on the PS4, I don't know. Yeah, like we're trying to bringing it back to the Arizona scene a little bit. We're still trying to figure out when we're going to do our next Rambat season because we're trying to predict.
Right, 'cause you got
This, yeah, like
Yeah.
when does this come out? You know.
Well, I think, in my opinion, I think it's safe to throw the Rambat season early, like in January, February, and just play the existing games. I don't, as much as I love KI and I want it to be big, it's a big investment. You got to buy Xbox One, got to buy a stick. Hopefully, for people like me that have the PS360 Plus board for your controller, they'll have a new firmware we can use our existing sticks on. I'm hoping they're actually working on it now.
Who's
so.
yeah? Oh, they are working on it.
Yeah, they said they're waiting for the console to come out. They're going to check it out and see if it works.
So you can
and-
flash the firmware on it. Like you have all the tools to flash it.
Yeah, it just
like-
takes an Ethernet cable. Click, just
Very
plug it in
cool.
your computer and upload it. Yeah, it's the best. I think it's the best dual mod out there. And it's only like $70.
That's actually yeah.
It's not even dual mod. It's like infinity mod because you can play it on a Super Nintendo. You can play it on a Dreamcast, your computer. It's ridiculous. Like list of consoles you can play, and the fact that you can flash the firmware. So maybe even if they can't figure it out, maybe some kid it's bored and finds a way to flash it and,
Sure.
and can do it. It's all who knows. But I mean in my opinion, I think doing it early in the year is fine. Just using the existing games and maybe having side tournaments if KI does get big, or something
Yeah.
like that. Just throwing it on the side at the same day. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I mean it's going to be tough because it's a lot of unknown right now. We got this coming out.
Yeah,
right?
we have Ultra coming out. We
And
have KI,
KI,
Blaze
it's
Blue,
Blaze Blue, right? Yeah. So
Guilty Gear.
There's
Guilty Gear's coming out too.
there's a lot of stuff coming out, and it's so hard to predict what the community is going to, take in and play until it's out.
And T Dot and I talked about this a little bit on our last show. It's sort of like, at least SSC, we want to promote all the communities that want the exposure and everything. It's just like we gotta make sure that we have a figurehead or something to step up and help us out with that, like Abe with Cross.
Oh, right, yeah. I mean, you can't. I guess we won't talk about too much because I can go on for all night on these things. But
Fair enough.
you look at other scenes. I'll just say other scenes. I don't want to call a scene out, but
Sure.
you look at other scenes that are not Capcom related,
Mhm.
and they love to blame the Capcom scene for not supporting them, right? And I just don't get it. I just really don't get it. because the Capcom scene is not like, oh, it's a Capcom game, we're just going to play it all. Like, look at Cross Tekken, right? It's being outcast. It is a Capcom game, but the Cross Tekken heads keep pushing it, and that's, I wish these other scenes would see, right? Look at Smash, look at Cross Tekken. These are the two big ones. Look at how they push their game. They keep playing it, they believe in their game, they keep playing it. If you really want your scene to grow, you need to step up. Like, you can't just be held your hand and walk down the line. And you need to do the work too, right? And it kind of infuriates me because the Capcom community usually, almost all the time, will try to bring them in, be like, hey, yeah, come in the party, right? And then they'll help them out, and they'll be like, okay, cool, you guys got it now, right? And then they get all mad because we didn't keep holding their hand and pushing them along. I'm like, we can't. We got our own scene to take care of. We're being helpful, right? And then, but somehow it backfires, and I just don't get that. I really don't get it.
Like, I've seen that. Yeah, we've seen that. It's cyclical, like with different patterns with different people who have reached out to interface with other communities, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
But
and I've seen it happen for a long time, right? I've seen it happen through the KOFs. I've seen it happen through DOAs, seen it through VFs and Tekkens, and now Injustice and MK9, and I just really hope the KI community doesn't do that. I have a strong feeling it won't, because there's a lot of old figureheads that play KI. So
my thinking is that as long as like, I think if KI establishes like a strong figurehead or like a strong,
and I believe it will. Yeah.
We both have an idea of who that guy's going to be.
Oh, for locally, yeah, we have. There's no question. It's so like Saber.
Yeah, so it's just whether or not the community is willing to. I don't know, like.
But I'm talking on a national level.
On a national level,
yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
And I believe that KI is going to be fine. I think there's a lot of
There's a lot of things going against it, but
sure. But there's a lot of like players that are known that really like the game, and I think they're going to keep pushing it. So. Right. But yeah, that's just to kind of diverse a little, Oh
no, we're done with the ultra talk here. We're now talking about the closing remarks here.
But yeah, I mean, it made me think about that, and I just don't understand. I just don't. Some of the mentalities that I'm like, why? What's the Did you really process all this stuff? And before it came out of your mouth,
So, like, for those who don't know, actually, like, Rick is one of the previous Ranbat heads. Like, he ran Ranbats like way before.
Oh yeah, I've done tournaments since the late '90s out here.
Definitely one of our oldest figureheads.
Hey, it's fine. I'm old dog.
I
don't mind. I got plenty of things going on in my life. I'm cool with being old.
He is steeped in tradition and back then he had to.
It ain't gonna stop me from talking to shit as much as like some younger kids. So
he had to climb 15 miles uphill both ways to get to those arcade.
15 miles was a good day.
No. But like, yeah, this gentleman here ran so many. Like, remember the pizza parlor?
Oh yeah, those were actually pretty good. It's too bad that pizza place closed down. That's the only reason I stopped. Yeah. I would have kept doing it. There's another pizza place that just opened up there. I was actually going to tell you about that. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't been in there yet, though.
Very cool.
Because it's a big spot. Like, there's a lot of room in there.
Yeah. So, like, there's plenty of room for setups and stuff like that, too. So, we're doing TO stuff already right now on the show.
That's fine. But yeah, I just want to say, any of these people out there that haven't come out to an event yet, like you said from the very first time you came out, you were nervous, you're frightened, you don't want to just get destroyed. It's going to happen, right? You're going to get blown up, probably.
Yep.
Probably you're going to get blown up. That's fine. That's a good thing. You came out, you got blown up. 99 times out of 100, the person that played you is going to be very friendly, is going to probably give you some feedback, is going to want to play you some more after the tournament's over, and you get to make some good friends, and you get to play, and you get to be better, and you get a part of the community, and you'll see what it's all about. And it's a great thing to be a part of. I mean, I wouldn't be in it still if I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I mean, I'm in so many different hobbies, like things that are huge, but I still love the FGC more than any of them. And
it's an interesting crosscut of society, because I've gotten to meet so many different kinds of people.
Yeah.
Like I'm an engineer, so I don't really interact with many artistic types, but one of my best friends draws comic books for a living. You are a world-class DJ.
Excuse me.
So I don't mean to delve too much in your personal life, but he was a world-class DJ. Like, Scott was in the Army. Like, there's just so many different.
There's a lot of different
walks
stories.
of life. Yeah,
there's a lot of stories. And you'll make some of the best friends out in the FGC. So like I'm saying, like if you are on the fence, just take that plunge. You'll be so happy you did. Come say hi to me. I'm friendly. As long as I haven't been drinking too much. As long as I haven't been drinking too much, I'm pretty friendly. No, just don't let that fool you. I actually get really friendly when I drink. I just might get a little louder. So.
There are stories from Vegas. Yes.
Man, I'll tell you them. Come out, yeah. Hang out, have a good time. So just keep an eye out for your events. You know, SSC's been doing all these events. Keep an eye out for that, and come say hi. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. Just keep it going, man.
Cheers. Yeah. So real quick promotion. The next SSC related event, or rather, the next fighting game community event is going to be at the Microsoft Store. There's going to be a midnight release for the Xbox One.
Oh, with KI too.
With KI, yeah.
I think it's only pads, which is unfortunate, but the gameplay is okay on pad. But that's still, it should be a really fun event, though.
I think there's going to be other KI tournaments throughout the coming months as well, like at the Gaming Zone. Shout outs to those guys for hosting us at the Rambat season.
Yeah, there's the Gaming Zone. I think Dr. Dog's created a group on Facebook. I have to remember what that is. And then, of course, Saber's going to be blasting whatever comes out with that.
Yep.
And I'll probably be retweeting and reposting what he does.
Sure.
So there'll be plenty of information out for that, too. Yeah, keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out for some Blaze Blue tournaments that may or may not be happening under SSC's wing. Other things around, let's see. Oh, December 7th, Arcade in a Box tournament. Or not really tournament, but Arcade in a Box
The birthday
event.
bash.
The birthday bash for Arcade in a Box Said 3S. It'd be really cool if our Phoenix guys would go out there.
I'll be out there for sure.
I get the best practice at Arcade in a Box. There's not even a Marvel scene there.
Yeah.
I'll
I'll talk about that a little bit. Yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit. There's a reason why you get the best practice in Tucson. Because, okay, they have a much smaller community, right?
Nothing else to do.
they want to stay inside because it stinks so bad outside. All right.
This is what's a fun place. You should go. You should go.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding about the stink. The Tucson stinks, but Arcade in a Box is an amazing place.
Yes.
But you'll get some of the best, if not the best, gaming like practice at Tucson, and the reason why is you have a couple of reasons actually. You have Said 3S is just like drill sergeant out there. Okay,
Coach Abe,
right? He will come at you with like the filters are off. Right?
Yeah.
He's coming at you. You did something wrong. He's gonna let you know something wrong. But
not even in video games. Like he's called me after each of my shows and been like, "This is what you did wrong on your
Right.
show. You had the wrong date on this marquee down
So-
there." You know? Something like that.
right. So you have a great drill sergeant. He's a
Yes.
really good coach. I mean, a testament to it is look at Isaac. Jeez, right?
Oh, yeah.
So Isaac's a dominant force. He's probably our best Street Fighter 4 in the state.
Yep.
So you have Master Drill Sergeant Said 3S, and he's actually one of the nicest people you meet. Once you get past this, the drill sergeant routine, just give him a little poke and he'll laugh. But anyways, so you have that, but you have this core of players that take things very serious, right? I think at a average, you look at the Tucson average and you look at the Phoenix average, we have a bigger group, but with that bigger group comes a bigger casual group. Where you look at the Tucson group, their casual group's small, right?
Right.
The group of players they have are really strong on an average, and they know what they're doing. They all help each other out. Don't get me wrong when I say strong. They're all very friendly, right? They all help each other out, but they take things serious, right? They're joking the whole time, but they're playing to win every time they play. And that's great. I mean, if you want to get the best practice, you go to Arcade in the Box in Tucson and you play the best.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they've even created an environment for that with the whole. It's like a private gaming room.
Yeah.
It's just a giant building with consoles everywhere, and I think
they're so lucky to have Ed.
Yeah.
Out there. That's amazing.
I think Ed's actually going to be bringing some multiplayer games.
Oh, I can't. That's right. He said that. I can't wait to play some of the stuff out there. Yeah.
What is the Ouya? It's like an Android thing.
I think it's something he's working on. HTML5 game. That's what I was just reading.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I can't remember. I remember I was playing this zombie thing a little bit, and it was still in beta. It was kind of goofy, but it's great to see that. So if you go out there, say hi to Abe for his birthday, obviously, and then go say hi and say thank you to Ed for providing that facility out there. It's great.
December 7th.
Yeah, December 7th. See me out there. Come say hi to me as well. And
You're Rick Dog.
You're Rick Dog. I want to money match you.
But I think that pretty much wraps up everything on our agenda tonight.
Yeah, sounds good, man. No, I think we covered quite a bit tonight. So,
cool.
Yeah, I'm sure if I come back on, we'll have plenty more to talk about. I'm just I got all kinds of stuff I could talk about. I could talk all night long. So
definitely, this is one of our longer shows, but it's definitely one of the more entertaining ones also.
Hey, I'm happy I could help out a little bit. Though I enjoy talking. I hope you guys enjoy when I commentate. It's fun. I have a good time. I just try to make every people laugh and try to provide some feedback on the matches and whys and whys nots. So
sure.
But yeah, I can't wait forward to your events and so I guess till next time, right?
Yep, for sure.
All right, man.
Thanks very much. So thanks, stream. Later.